Okay, so hey guys, so tonight I wanted to do kind of a eyeshadow palette review roundup thing for you guys. And I also just wanted to review a couple of single shadows as well. I just wanted to show the recent palettes I have collected the past 2 months. So these are all the eyeshadow palettes I'm going to show you. I know it looks like a lot, but half of these I got with gift certificates or on sale or with Black Friday. The only one I really paid, the only two I only paid for full price for were these two, but these two are gigantic. This one I got with a gift certificate. This one I got in the mystery bag unboxing. These two I got on Black Friday, so I got them for like a really good deal. And then this one I got for 20% off from Ulta. And then I also have a ColourPop quad as well. And then I also have 3 single shadows that I want to review. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to start with the palettes I've gotten first to the ones I've gotten most recently. So the first one, I was going to make this like an eyeshadow palette collection video, but I already have an eyeshadow palette collection video. These are all the palettes I have recently acquired since that video. So I figured just to do a collection slash review on them. So I have talked about my other eyeshadow palettes so many times that I thought that I would just come on here and review these for you and show you a collection at the same time. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Too Faced Sephora exclusive holiday palette. I can't remember the exact name. I know that's terrible, but it's not even available on the Sephora website anymore because it was limited edition. I knew out of all of the palettes that I got in this entire haul, not haul, review, that this was the one I was going to pick up because my lighting's a little weird right now. Because I have never owned a Too Faced holiday palette before, so I thought this year was the time for me to actually get one. Let me just see what the actual name is first so I don't give you guys any false, well, not false information, just the wrong information basically. Too Faced Sephora holiday palette 2015. It was called the Le Grand Palais palettes. Yes, Le Grand Palais. I kept the packaging and everything. I thought the packaging was the cutest thing ever. So it opens up like this and it reveals the colors right here. This shadows, look at this. Can you just see, can you just take in how beautiful they laid this out? The packaging is phenomenal on this. My favorite packaging. Too Faced blows me away with their packaging all the time. They just always get it right. I just love their packaging. This pops out of that huge box that you get with it, and this is your eyeshadow palette. So you can pop it out. It's super slim, so you don't have to worry about it taking up that much room, and it holds a crap ton of products. I thought this was such an incredible value. This was $60 for this palette, and you get 15 eyeshadows in here. Actually, 18 eyeshadows in here. 18 eyeshadows, 2 blushes, and a highlight and a bronzer. So I thought that was an incredible value. So I was like, yes. Yes, I am getting you. So these are the shades in here. They are so gorgeous. I know a lot of people are kind of on the fence about this palette, but I think that this palette is beautiful. I've actually only used it twice because I used it during Christmas and a little bit before Christmas. So I can't give my actual thoughts on all of the colors, but I used a majority of the neutrals, literally probably most of the neutrals in this row and this row I used, and then these 2 colors and maybe this one. So I used about 10 or 11 of the colors out of me only using it twice. And then I also used both of the blushes and I used the highlighter. I have to say, I love the quality. The quality of these shadows, the mattes and stuff, because that's what people were saying, that the mattes in here are great, but the shimmery shadows aren't that great. But they weren't saying that this palette was terrible. They just said it was okay. There's not that many people that actually hate this palette, but I think that it's beautiful. I really do like it. Maybe I have to play around a little bit more with it. I'll just go over the colors really, really quickly. So we have White Christmas, Satin Sheets, Vintage Lace, Delightful, Moon on Their Wings, which is one of my favorite shades. I love that color, and Satin Sheets. Cobblestone, City Lights, Dream Light, String of Lights. They went with like a huge light theme there. Yule Log, Wish List, Arc de Triomphe, it's like a French name. Belle Femme, Stiletto, Eiffel, Midnight in Paris, Champs Elysees, again another French name. Party Dress, and then the blushes are Stardust and Skyline, and then the highlight is Flush, and then the iconic Sun Bunny bronzer is one of their most popular bronzers. So yeah, I think that this palette is really awesome. If you were looking for a holiday palette, honestly, this was the only holiday palette from Sephora that I was looking to pick up. I just knew I needed to grab it. So yeah, I pretty much really like this palette. I can't say I absolutely love it because I haven't used it enough, but I'm just giving my general thoughts on it that I really did enjoy this palette while I was using it. So that is the first one. Then the second one I believe I got right after that one, and this one is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani eyeshadow palette. You guys have probably seen this talked about a bunch of times on YouTube already. This is what the packaging looks like. I think the packaging is so adorable. Sorry, I have like an itch in my nose. But it's like the packaging's so bomb. It's very sturdy. I'm not sure how it is if you like actually drop this palette. Yes, I've dropped a few eyeshadow palettes before. But every eyeshadow palette I've dropped, like I've only dropped like maybe 2. Like I try to be very careful with my eyeshadows because my eyeshadow palettes are like my most prized possessions for my makeup. Like obviously I collect them and also I try to use them as much as I can. I can't go basically a day without wearing eyeshadow. So, but this palette is actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I actually have been using it quite a bit recently. These are what the shadows look like. Again, this is a $60 palette, but again, look at the pan size. Like, these are basically as big as those MAC Warm 15 eyeshadow palette, and this is 15 shades as well, and this one is $60, and that MAC palette is $85, but I got that MAC palette with gift cards, so I got like $10 off of it. It is my most expensive eyeshadow palette, but it is so worth it. I would choose that MAC palette over this Marc Jacobs one any day. I think that quality of those are phenomenal, and they're good, but I actually kind of regret buying this palette, but it's not about this palette, but I haven't touched this palette in a while, and I used to use the crap out of it when I first got it. Now I'm just like not that crazy about it anymore. So what I have to say about these is that yes, there are not a lot of neutral shades in here, which I actually really love because I'm a neutral eye lover. Like obviously like neutral palettes are my go-tos for work. And that's why I really like wearing this palette for work a lot. But I will have to say that these eyeshadows are not the same quality or as up to par as the Naked palettes are. They really aren't. For some reason, they're very stiff, the shimmery shades. Sorry, I know that was a weird cutoff, but I just wanted to finish what I was saying about the Gwen Stefani palette. Just my mom was talking to me, so whatever. The shimmery shades in this palette for some reason are really not that good. The mattes are really, really nice. Like, I basically just stick to this family right here. Like, these 6 shades are really awesome. I've tried most of the other colors except for this gold and the black and this red. I really want to try this red soon. I don't know why I haven't used it sooner. But I've basically used like most of these except for, and I haven't used the pink. I've tried to use these other 2 like shimmery neutral shadows and they just don't have, I don't know, they're just very stiff and they don't come off like that beautiful like shimmery metallic formula that Urban Decay is known for. Usually their shimmery shades are gorgeous, but they're just very stiff. They're not very buttery and they're not very pigmented. So that is Steady. I just want to show you, like, it looks pretty, but on the eye it just does not apply the same way. But the only 2 that don't do that is Bath Water and Skimp, which are these 2 right here, and Blonde. All of these aren't really matte. They're all like have a hint of shimmer in them. Bathwater is really nice. It's still a little bit stiff, but it's definitely my favorite one out of these, like this one, and this one. But Steady, Baby, and Pop just are very stiff shadows for some reason. Like this one is Pop. Like this one, it barely has any pigmentation, and this one is Baby. So these ones look pretty, but like they really don't apply as well. I don't know what it is about these. I don't know if they like wanted to reformulate them a little bit when they started when she collaborated with them, but they should have just stuck to the older formula and made them. But I guess, you know, she really is not a very shimmery shadow girl. She's a very neutral person, and this palette is really a huge reflection of her. So she really did get that across, and it is a great neutral palette. Like these three shades, Anaheim, Stark, and Zone, are the ones I use every single time I use this palette, and they're all like super blendable and really, really nice matte shades. Like they're really matte. I really like them a lot. And then these three shades up here, like basically these three and these three are the ones I use all the time. I tried to use Danger, has a ton of fallout. It's okay, but like it transfers and it's just not that great. And then Harajuku and 1987, I haven't used that. I do want to use this at some point, but I'm just going to say like probably 7 out of the 15 shadows are good and the rest aren't that great. But I still get a crap ton of use out of these neutral shadows because I really like these shadows for everyday looks, and I am wearing them today. So it is a really nice neutral eye for every day, but then I have my Makeup Geek shadows for that. But I basically got this because it's a collector's item, so, but I do try and use it as much as I can. So, and this is probably the one I've used the most out of all of these palettes I'm going to be talking about, but it's also because I've had it the longest. So those are those two. And the next ones I'm going to talk about, I think I got right after that palette. And I'm going to talk about the Lime Crime Venus palette. So I'm going to talk about the first one first. This eyeshadow palette, I know all the controversy with Lime Crime. I know every single time I make a damn video I have to talk about the controversy. But I am telling you, these eyeshadow palettes are phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I don't know if I'm the only person that feels that way about their eyeshadows, because I know that their lipsticks are the most popular. Obviously, their velveteens, like I am in love with their velveteens as well. But the quality of these eyeshadows just blew me out of the water. Blew me out of the water. I forgot to go over the shade names in here really quickly, but I basically said most of them. Sorry, just give me one sec. It's Blonde, Bathwater, Skimp, Steady, Punk, Baby, Anaheim, Stark, Zone, and Serious, Pop, Harajuku, Danger, 1987, and Blackout. The three shades that are permanents in Urban Decay's collection is Skimp, Blackout, and what the heck was the other one? I can't remember the other one, but I know most of these are all new shades, and then there's like 3 that aren't. But those 2 shades are definitely permanent. I can't remember what the other one is. Maybe it's Stark? I don't know. But they're gorgeous. Really love those matte shades. So yeah, the Lime Crime Venus palette, I have to say all of these shadows are absolutely incredible. And this is probably one of my top eyeshadow formulas now. I've used every single shade in this palette, and I've only had it, I think I've had it like a month or something. I haven't used it as much as I would like to, but these shadows are so pigmented and so buttery and super blendable. So they obviously have the 3 like checkoffs I have on my list for eyeshadows, and honestly, if it's pigmented and blendable, I'm good. So, and they're like super buttery to the touch. So we have Venus, Shell, Aura, Creation, Icon, Rebirth, Divine, and Muse. And I use this as much as I can, and I think that these shadows are amazing. Aura is probably my favorite. Just look at this pigmentation. Do you see how pigmented that is? And then that's one swipe. That's one swipe. Do you see the intensity of just this shade compared to the Urban Decay ones? Like, that's really awesome quality. And then I'm just going to do one of the matte shades as well. This one is called Aura. No, Divine. Maybe that's like not the best swatch, but honestly blends out so beautifully. It's kind of like, I kind of did a bad swatching and like there's a little bit of hair there, but it's a friggin' awesome shade. And let's do Creation. This is definitely one of my other favorites. Look at that. Do you see how pigmented that is? This one is Creation. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. So blendable. I'm telling you, Lime Crime Venus palettes are amazing. So I definitely think that this palette is completely bomb. And this one, I believe, is $35, but I got both of these together, and I got them for like $45, so I saved like $20. So I got them as a bundle for $45 when they're originally like $35 a piece. So I saved like $20, so that was pretty good. So yeah, love that. And then this is the Lime Crime Venus 2 palette. Now I haven't used this one as much as the Venus one. I've actually used like 3 of the shades in here because I use them for like a neutral eye with the Venus one, because when I use this palette, I use it with the Venus one because it obviously has more like transition shades and crease shades in there. But I have to say the quality of this is just as good as the Venus palette. They're both incredible quality. So we have Pigeon, Filter, Marsh, Mustard, Fly, Jam, Mud, and Boot. I really am dying to use the colorful shades in this palette, but every time I do a colorful eye, I'm always using my Makeup Geek shadows. But I really want to bust this palette out when I do a colorful look soon. But I just wanted to swatch my favorites for you. The ones that I've used is Mustard, which is this gorgeous yellow, like Desert Sands by Makeup Geek. It's definitely the closest shade to this. I did do a whole like eyeshadow duping video comparing like the Lime Crime palettes to Makeup Geek shadows, and also comparing like other shadows to Makeup Geek, so you can go check that out if you want. This has like a little bit of the other shade on it, so I'm just swatching the ones that I've actually used. This one is Mustard, this one is Mud, and this one is Fly. I'm telling you, like, look at those mattes. Amazing quality. I really want to use Pigeon soon, and I really want to use Boot. But, again, like, look at that Pigeon shade. Like, are you joking? That is what those two look like. Pigeon's like a dual chrome. Isn't that awesome looking? I think that Pigeon might be like the color I wanted Secret Garden to be. I'm going to try it. Like, I can't wait to try it. But I haven't even tried Filter and Marsh, and they're like calling my name because they look so gorgeous. So yeah, I am super excited to use this palette more. I'm hoping to use it more at some point. So those are the 2 Lime Crime palettes. Now let's get into, let's see. I think this one was the one I got after that. So I am going to be completely honest with you, and I haven't even used this palette, so I can't really give a review about it, but this is the Too Faced Rock and Roll eyeshadow palette. I didn't really purchase this myself. This came in, I mean, I did purchase it myself, but it came in the Too Faced mystery bag unboxing. In the Too Faced mystery bag, I mean. So this was the eyeshadow palette that they included in it. Again, packaging is really, really cute. I love the packaging on the Venus palettes as well. And this is what it looks like. I have not touched this palette since I've gotten it because I just have too many eyeshadow palettes. And I haven't really found like a look that I've wanted to do with it yet. I might do like maybe a little bit of a neutral eye at some point. I'm not really sure. So, sorry, I'm getting texts. But yeah, so this came in the Too Faced mystery bag, and I kind of like peeked at what was inside of it like online and on Instagram and stuff, but I really, really wanted it this year because first of all, this is the first I ever heard about it. Like, I didn't even know there was a Too Faced mystery bag, but they always release it during Black Friday. Last year they released a brush set, and I was like praying that we would get another brush set in it because that's like a $50 value at least. But you get like all of these, like basically, you get all these other items by basically paying for the eyeshadow palette, and then everything else is basically free. So this is like $35 by itself, and then it came with the bronzer Kabuki brush, which is probably like $30 by itself. It came with a deluxe Too Faced lipstick, which is $21, and it came with a deluxe bronzer, which is like $30, and it came with the Too Faced sample mascara. So basically, you're getting the other 3 items for free. You're basically only paying for this. So I thought it was a pretty incredible value. So this was the eyeshadow palette that we got. Honestly, I didn't want another eyeshadow palette because I have so many. But I'm hoping to get use out of this at some point. But the colors do look really pretty. So we have Rockabilly, Rap, Ska, New Wave, Pop, Heavy Metal, New Romantic, Glam Rock, and Punk. So yeah, again, hopefully I'll be able to find a use for it. But yeah, I love Too Faced so much, but we will see. So that's that one. And then the other Too Faced palette I've picked up recently is the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. I think you guys already know that I already love this, but I'm just going to share it with you really quickly because it is a newer eyeshadow palette and it's not in my last eyeshadow palette collection. But yeah, these are all my newer palettes in my collection. But can we just say the packaging is like the cutest thing ever? Like, I always think that the Too Faced palettes that I have like before this are like my all-time favorites, and then they slay me with another one. Like, every time they come out with a palette, their packaging always gets better. Like, I thought the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette was my all-time favorite packaging, and before that, I thought the Chocolate Bar palettes were my all-time favorite packaging, but now this, oh my god, it's like, it screams me in a palette because I love pink so much. This is just like, I don't care if people say this is tacky. I think it's so girly and so adorable. Like, makeup's for being a girl. So Too Faced just celebrates being girly, you know? And this is what it looks like. I just love the writing on here. That's why I'm like kind of blinding you. I just think it's the cutest thing ever. And then this is what it looks like. Like, it's adorable. Like, adorable. And I have used this palette probably the most out of all of these besides the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani, because I made it like my mission to use this a lot this month. And I have to say, I friggin' love it. But the only thing is that I feel like I'm kind of doing like the same looks with it because I feel like the chocolate bar and the semi-sweet chocolate bar is a little bit more versatile for me. I feel like this one I stick with like the same crease shades because there's not really that many crease shades in here. I probably could use Mocha as a crease shade and not really as a like deepening shade. But Cashew Chew and Almond Truffle are like two of my favorites. I always use these in the crease when I use this. As you can see, I've shown a lot of love to Cashew Chew. So there's Cashew Chew and Almond Truffle. They're amazing. So I'm just going to go through the colors really quickly. But these are amazing. So blendable. It's $50. And obviously you guys know how amazing the first two chocolate bar palettes are. So I figured I was going to love this too if it was going to be the same chocolate cocoa butter formula. And I do. I love it. So we have Almond Truffle, Satin Sheets, Sprinkles, Molasses Chip, Malted, which Molasses Chip is one of my favorites too. Cashew Chew, Cotton Candy, Cafe Elite, Bordeaux, Mocha, Black Currant, Dark Truffle, Pecan, Praline, Totally Fetch, Earl Grey, and Divinity. So I pretty much stick with like these shades up here and like these shades and this one and this one. Those are like basically the shades I've used. I haven't used these ones yet, like all these colorful shades. I've used this one, but I haven't used like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Haven't used like 6 shades in the whole palette. So I do get use out of all the other shades, and there's like 16 shades in here, so I think that's pretty good. But these are like really gorgeous shades. I guess I'll just swatch like Molasses Chip and Satin Sheets. Those are definitely like my favorites. Satin Sheets is so gorgeous. You see that? So pigmented. Like, do you see how much more pigmented these are than the Gwen Stefani ones? Like, this one is Molasses Chip and this one is Satin Sheets. Like, really, really beautiful, amazing quality for those two. And the mattes are really awesome in here too. I mean, come on. Like, I can't get enough of this palette. And this one, it's like not as buttery, but they're beautiful. This one is Mocha and this one is Cashew Chew. So let's just watch those really quickly too. You're not really going to see them that well, but that one is Mocha and that one is Cashew Chew. I really do love them. So yeah, can't go wrong with this palette. If you were looking to pick it up just to complete your collection of chocolate bar palettes, I say grab it because it's pretty awesome. So definitely love that. And then the last like eyeshadow palette I'm going to review is the most recent one I picked up. I shared the chocolate bonbons and this one in my most recent Sephora haul. But I got this one at Ulta because I had a 20% off at Ulta, which was fucking awesome. So the last one I'm going to mention is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I wasn't intending on picking this up originally. And then I saw it in the store and I kept on seeing it like being raved about and saying like people like this one more than the Tartelette palette. It's really beautiful. Look at the packaging. Like, I think the packaging just sucked me in. I think it's the most adorable packaging. It's so pretty. And I feel like it opens up like a jewelry box. Like, I think it's so cute. And this is what the palette looks like. I have been using this a lot. I actually just used it yesterday. I mean, I haven't used this as much as everything else because I actually picked this up without the intention of actually using it as much as everything else because I had so many palettes. But this is the last palette I'm going to pick up for a while. I'm still waiting for Manny MUA to release his palette with Makeup Geek, and I'm still waiting for Jaclyn Hill's Makeup Geek collaboration. But those aren't going to happen for like a month or two, so I'm hoping to get more use out of these, and plus those aren't going to be that expensive. They're probably going to be like 20 bucks. So, these are the shades in here, and I have to say, like, this is one of my favorite Tarte palettes, and also, it smells really good. Like, it kind of smells like the chocolate bar, but like a little bit, like, I don't know. It just smells really, really good, but that's not the point. But the quality of these are really bomb. They're really pigmented, really blendable, and I have actually used every single shade in this palette, and as I've said before, I haven't done that with all these other palettes except for this one, which is crazy because this is like a neutral dream, honestly, because there's no like pops of color in here. There's these really beautiful like pink tones in here, then there's these really beautiful neutrals, and then you have like your smoky colors that you can do like a really beautiful smoky eye with. So I think they made this palette really smartly, where you can actually get use out of every single shade and feel like you can use them over and over again. So that's why I think this is probably one of my favorite ones that I've gotten recently. I think out of the eyeshadow palettes I've shared with you, the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons, the Venus one, and this one are like my top 3. So I would suggest if you didn't like Tarte Lip Palette, pick up this one because it's awesome. So we have Charmer, Jet Setter, Rocker, Smoke Show, Flower Child, Smarty Pants, Firecracker, Activist, Funny Girl, Sweetheart, Rebel, and Leader. I actually had just recently used these two yesterday for the first time because I wanted to go with more like a cool tone look, so that's why I've ended up using every single shade. So Flower Child is definitely like probably my favorite color in the palette because it's a really awesome transition shade. I just really like it because it's like neutral, but it's like super pigmented. Do you see how pigmented that is? Like that's sickening. So that's what Flower Child looks like, and then it like applies really neutrally. If you got what I mean, like it kind of neutralizes on your skin and it's really, really pretty. And then also Smarty Pants is a great matte in here as well. Do you see how pigmented they are? And then that one is Smarty Pants. It probably is like, see, like they kind of like neutralize a little bit. They're like really, really pretty. And then I'll do like one of the shimmery ones. I really like Funny Girl a lot. See? Really, really nice shades. I guess I'll just do it next to that one. That one is Funny Girl right there. Really, really, really pretty. I really do enjoy this palette a lot. And also these pinky shades down here are really, really pretty. I really like these 3. So honestly, you really can't go wrong with this. This is a really awesome palette. So, and this was already in Young, Wild, and Polished's Best of Beauty, and she's only had it for like a month or 2, and she already fucking loves it. She didn't like the Tarte Lip palette, so. And I was like, good thing I didn't pick it up because I don't need it, and I thought this just Tarte Lip palette was like really, really gorgeous. And since I already had like I know like the all matte palettes out there, like the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, the Tarte Lip palette, and the Too Faced Natural Matte palette, and she said she loves the Too Faced Natural Matte and the Tarte Lip in Bloom. But if you own the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette, you don't need the Too Faced Natural Matte. That's the only reason why I didn't get it. It's because there's like 5 repeats of shades that are already in the Natural Eyes palette, so I really didn't need it only for like 4 new shades. So, and the Natural Eyes palette's like my favorite eyeshadow palette of like all time. So I was like, yeah, I don't need the Natural Matte. And then the last like collection of eyeshadows I'm going to review are the Kathleen Lights Wear the Latest by ColourPop. I don't really have to go much into these because they're friggin' incredible, but these are what the eyeshadows look like. You have the colors, they're kind of like out of order, but just bear with me. We have the colors Midnight, Weenie, Telepathy, and Porter. I've actually only used 2 of these shadows. I've only used Weenie once, and I've used Midnight twice because I've been using this with like my silver eyeshadow looks, and then this I used once with the Tarte Lit in Bloom palette. But I've been trying to utilize a lot of my ColourPop shadows this month, and I have used quite a few of them. So I've been doing like really, really good. I've even used the Kathleen Lights color that I love. I used like Sequin. I also used like these 2 colors. So I've really been trying to use these over my Makeup Geek shadows because these are still my all-time favorites. Like they don't transfer like the Makeup Geek shadows do. They're just friggin' incredible. But I think Weenie is probably my favorite. Like, I'm just going to show you really quickly what they look like. So this one is Weenie. I mean, like, the pigmentation of ColourPop shadows, you really can't beat it. And this one's, like, they're so super creamy. Like, these are probably, like, the creamiest ones I own. But the pigmentation is just friggin' phenomenal. Like, that's what it looks like. They're just incredible to me. Their eyeshadows are definitely my favorite thing from them, and their lippy sticks. Like, incredible. So that's what that one looks like. That one is Weenie right here. See how pretty it is? I love it. And then we also have Midnight, which is like this gorgeous, like, glittery, like, black shade with, like, gold glitters in it. Do you see how gorgeous that is? It's so gorgeous. I'm not going to swatch all of them, but I want to swatch Telepathy because I want to use it so bad, but I haven't used it yet. Then the next one we have is Porter, which is this, like, gorgeous reddish shade. I definitely want to use this really soon. I will definitely use this soon, hopefully. So that's what it looks like right there. Really, just really beautiful. I just really wanted to use a neutral eye today because I was just working for a few hours and I just wanted to go really natural because I was just working in the morning. So, but friggin' gorgeous deep red. And then the last one is Telepathy, which is like this friggin' intense yellow shade. Like, look at that shade. It's so gorgeous. And then I'm just going to swatch it. This is one swipe of that. Like, the pigmentation is fucking off the chain with these. And that's what it looks like on my hand. Obviously, it's that really yellow one on the top. I'm, like, kind of swatching them over my knuckles. So, like, if they have skips in them, that's the only reason why. But, yeah, I knew I wasn't going to be disappointed with these at all. If you're looking for cheap eyeshadows and honestly, like, you're kind of fed up with Makeup Geek foiled shadows transferring on you, get the ColourPop ones. You will not be disappointed at all. I trust me. They're my all-time favorite lid shades. My all-time favorites. Like, these are incredible quality. I just love them. So, yeah, I'm pretty biased about them because I haven't even used the other two shades, but I already know I'm going to love them because the pigmentation of ColourPop and the staying power are phenomenal to me. Like, they stay on your lid and they stay at that intensity for like a good 8 hours. Like, they don't fade. They just stay there. They're incredible. Like, I'm so sick of the Makeup Geek shadows like transferring and like the pigmentation just going away because there are so many beautiful foiled shadows, but like that's the thing that irks me so much about them. It's just like not all of them do that, but quite a few of them transfer and then like by the end of the day you have like no lid color anymore. So, and then the last things I just want to talk about briefly are the Kat Von D Metal Crush shadows. I didn't have these in my last like eyeshadow collection, eyeshadow palettes video. So these are the only 3 single shadows I have recently picked up because I just saw so much talk about these that I just was like, okay, maybe I should pick up like a few of them. So I just picked up the neutral ones because I mean, there are so many beautiful, like, colorful ones as well, like Paranoid, and then also, which is like this beautiful blue, and there's also the green one, which is looks friggin' gorgeous, but I just decided to stick with the neutral ones just to see if I could get a lot of use out of them. I've actually used them like twice, but I am trying to utilize them a little bit more. So the first one I was definitely drawn to was Dose. These are gorgeous, like really gorgeous. Like she nailed it with this formula. Oh, by the way, this ColourPop quad is $20, I forgot to say. And the Tartelette in Bloom palette, I believe, is $45, maybe? I'm actually not really sure about the price on this because I didn't even look at the price. I just got it because I was getting 20% off. Let me just check the price really quickly. It's probably under new. Yeah, it's $45. Oh my god, I was right. But yeah, pretty good price for 15 eyeshadows, I believe, so it's not bad. It's actually a pretty good price because all the Naked palettes have 15 shadows in them, and they're $50, but I think you get a little bit more product in them. So yeah, the first one is called Dose, really, really gorgeous, like, intense orange shade. I would compare this to Makeup Geek's Flamethrower Foiled Shadow and Morphe's 35O color. Like there's this like really fiery color that looks like this. I did do a duping video between the comparison of this and those two, I believe. So you can, again, I probably will link that below to show you like dupes. But none of them are really the same. They just look similar, but they're not exactly the same. But like as soon as you dip your finger in these, they're like super buttery and super pigmented. So this one is Dose. I'm probably just going to swatch this one for you because this one's probably my favorite. look how pigmented that is. Like super, super pigmented. So these are incredible. Like, I would suggest these if like you're not a huge online shopper, but I would go with Makeup Geek foiled shadows if you're on a budget. But if you really want to try like super pigmented, intense eyeshadows, there's nothing else on the market like these right now. Like these are super unique because unless you try like the Urban Decay single shadows, I would probably compare them to those. But these are even more intense. So they're freaking gorgeous. So this next one is called Synergy. Is this really beautiful like brown metallic shade. I definitely gravitate towards shades like this too. I would compare this to like maybe Makeup Geek's Mesmerized or Grandstand, but they are not similar. Like, but they're kind of like in the same color family. So that's what that one looks like. I actually had this one is actually brand new because I had recently shattered this. I was so upset. But thank God Sephora is so bomb with their return policy that if you break anything, you can just bring it back and they'll give you a brand new one. So that's why I love Sephora a little bit more over Ulta. I mean, I know you get the points for Ulta, but obviously you can't buy Kat Von D at Ulta because she's exclusive to Sephora. But that one is Synergy right there. Again, really gorgeous, really intense shades. Like even these like everyday wearable shades are super intense. Like there's not one dud in this collection. I am dying for Thunderstruck, by the way. That's the only reason why. The only reason why I don't have it is because it's sold out. And when I actually wanted to get it, it was sold out. I was so mad. But, like, I will get that shadow at some point. And the last one I have is called Raw Power. This is the most recent one I picked up. It is this gorgeous, like, burgundy red shade. Oh, my God, it's so pretty. That's what it looks like right there. Let's see how it looks compared to Porter. I believe Porter's even deeper. Yeah, Porter's a lot deeper than Raw Power, but that's what it looks like. It's so gorgeous. I just like Kat Von D like slays me recently, or like she's like in my top 5 makeup brands now. She's like tied with NARS with me. Like my top 5 favorite makeup brands now. It's Kat Von D and NARS at 5. Number 4 is Makeup Geek. Number 3 is Urban Decay, number 2 is ColourPop, and number 1 is Too Faced. Yeah, I think that's how I would rank them. Yeah. But ColourPop, Too Faced, and Urban Decay are always going to be my favorite brands. Whatchamacallit? Makeup Geek, the only reason why they're at number 4 is because I only have their eyeshadows and their blushes. Like, I've never tried anything else, but their eyeshadows and blushes are just friggin' so bomb, and I use them every single day that I can't not include them in my top 5. But yeah, anyway, but Kat Von D has slowly, like, crept her way up to number 5 for me, because I use so many of her products. Like, I have a lot of her products. I have her liners, the eyeshadows, the blushes. I only have one blush. I have 5 of the Everlasting Liquid Lipsticks. I have one of her Studded Kiss lipsticks, and I have her Metal Crush shadows. Just like her quality of everything is just amazing. So this one is Raw Power, and this is the last one, and then I could stop rabbling. This one is not as buttery as the other two, but again, friggin' phenomenal pigmentation. I guess I could swatch this. I don't know. Again, these are all one swipe of these. Really gorgeous shadows. So I would definitely highly recommend these. If you don't want to splurge too much, just pick up one and check out the pigmentation, because these are phenomenal. These are definitely probably my favorite single shadows next to ColourPop ones, because I don't own that many single shadows. The only single shadows I really own are ColourPop, NYX Prismatic shadows, and these are bomb. Like, it's just because I have so many eyeshadow palettes that I don't need that many single shadows, and like, these are $20 a piece, but they're, at least the pans are friggin' huge, but you know, the value's so much better in eyeshadow palettes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different for me, but I just felt like reviewing a bunch of palettes, and I thought it was fun. I'm a little bit like lacking in inspiration for a video, so if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Probably nobody will, because I just make this for me, basically. But I was thinking about doing like a hauled it but how was it video, like Young Wild and Polish does. Just to, you know, say my thoughts on palettes on like things I've recently gotten. But since I like basically did an eyeshadow roundup, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, because like most of the stuff I got were eyeshadow palettes and then like lipsticks. But I will see what I want to do. I definitely want to film an updated makeup collection at some point, because I'm just waiting on MAC stuff by, like, I believe it's coming tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's going to be both items, but I am going to be filming a MAC haul once I have everything, but I'm not sure if like one of the items are coming because they said that it was back ordered when I ordered it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, so I will stop rambling. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, CW819. My Twitter's Pokeface819. And I also have been on like a no-buy. Like, I mean, I did get MAC stuff this month, but those are literally like the only things I've gotten this month because I'm really not trying to buy makeup too much. So since I'm not putting up a haul like every week or every 2 weeks, it's kind of hard to be like inspired to like film other videos and have like other ideas. But hopefully, sometimes I go through a rut, but then like I get really inspired again and then I go through a rut again. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So bye!